Hi, good morning everyone. It's November 12th. This is my second video. My name is Jen and I have MS. I was diagnosed about a year ago and I'm currently in the process of working towards my license to practice therapy. But for right now, I have been reaching out to as many people with MS as I can to try and help and support them. I worked in the mental health field previously and I'll be doing some support groups through the MS Society chapter on Long Island in the Blue Point area in Long Island, as well as doing one-on-one coaching sessions with people that need additional supports that will not be affiliated with the MS Society. But I wanted to try and start a video blog to try and touch on a lot of different things that we as MS people go through. And I figured the best first video would be, how do we process the diagnosis of MS? It's so incredibly shocking. I know I was shocked, even though I knew I had it for quite some time prior to the diagnosis because nothing else really fit my symptoms. It was still a lot to process. And there are stages that we're going to go through as individuals when processing such a shocking thing, such as a diagnosis like multiple sclerosis. I think a lot of us are confused. First, we might think, what is it? Because I think a lot of us think of multiple sclerosis and right away we panic and think of a wheelchair. Because let's face it, there are really, unfortunately, some people out there that have progressed to the point where they are unfortunately in wheelchairs or using aids every day to walk. But that does not necessarily mean that it's all the individuals in which have multiple sclerosis. So I wanted to begin by saying that whenever we get shocking news, there's so many different emotions I think that come into play for ourselves to process, as well as our loved ones, our partners, either in our marriages, or if we have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, our families, extended families, our parents, our children. It kind of affects everyone. It's like a domino effect, I think. But I think what we need to do is try and be as patient with ourselves as we can be, because it's going to take some time to process it and go through the different stages. We all go through the different stages on different time frames, because I think it's a personal journey, and I think we're all so unique and special. And so me processing within a year is just my unique path and road and journey with MS, and others might take longer or might take shorter. I think I had a little extra processing time because, as I said, I knew that I had MS before I was diagnosed with MS. In my heart, I knew it. Anyway, I'd like to begin by saying that I think the first thing that we go through is shock. We're completely in shock. It's a shocking thing to hear. And then we're inundated with so much information from our neurologists and from other people, and being told to go to this meeting and that meeting to learn about what does this really mean for me. So I think the first stage we go through is shock. I think after that we slide into something that we call denial. Even though I knew what I had, I spent about 2 weeks convincing myself that I had Lyme's disease. The two can be closely related sometimes. And so I spent a little bit of time on that myself, thinking that that is what I had, because I wanted to have something that was highly curable. Because as we know, MS, there really is no cure out there right now. So I think that's why we need to collectively come together and work on a lot of different a lot of different interventions so that we can live the best life we can live, and we can be happy and we can be healthy even though we have MS. I think that as we go through the denial stage, we then begin to fall into what I'd like to say is some type of anger. We're basically pissed off. Here we are, we're trying to live our lives, we're all juggling, let's face it, trying to make money, raise our kids, or whatever else we have going on, and our plates are already full. And then we get slapped with this. A lot of us say, you know, why me? Why now? And we go through a lot of those different things, and we might be a little bit irritable, might be a little bit rough to tolerate initially. And you know what? It's okay, because it's a process, and you're going to come out of the anger. It will subside in time. You will make peace with the diagnosis. And I think that's when you finally, after you're done being angry, and you have every right to be also, by the way, we come into acceptance mode. And once we come into acceptance mode, we accept the diagnosis for what it is. We have already spent probably a lot of time researching it and trying to figure out, okay, what does MS really mean? We find out about the myelin sheath. We look into our MRIs a little bit more, and then we become proactive in our care, and we start to pick out a medication, which I think is a very personal decision, whether it be a DMD, the PrEBs, some type of alternate medications like an LDN, low dose naltrexone, that I personally am on because I feel that that is what worked for me. It might not work for others. And when we become proactive is when we're ready to reach out and we're ready to learn different tools that we can implement into our daily lives to help make our lives easier, to lower down our symptoms and to lower down our pain levels and to try to just stabilize after the diagnosis. And living with MS can be challenging. So that is why I started this video blog, because I know I've implemented a lot of different things and it's been highly beneficial for me. And I feel as though I would love to share that with as many people as I can. Some things that I suggest might work for you, some might not. But I will see how the response to these videos go. I know the quality of this video is horrible. It's so dark. It's a webcam thing built into my PC, so the clarity is horrible. Um, but I'm trying to keep this low cost right now, so I'll have to be a little fuzzy in the beginning. Um, but anyway, so that's it basically. I think that we all have our own personal time frame. I don't think that we should be too hard on ourselves and on our families. And I think we just need to take some time for ourselves and just validate how we're feeling. Everyone's very against depression, and depression's bad, and it's not good to be unhappy. And you know what? I think as human beings, we experience a lot of different emotions. Now, of course, if we're in a depressive state for 2 and 3 months, and it's affecting our sleep and it's affecting our eating habits, then yes, it's time to kind of look into further a remedy. Okay, how do I remedy this situation? But if you're going to have a couple of weeks where you're going to be a little sad, I think that's completely understandable. It's a big diagnosis. It's going to take time to process, and to digest and to go through the different levels and stages that we will go through in order to come out the other side. And when we do come out the other side, I think there's a lot of things that we can do to make our lives better. And I'd like to help as many people as I can in that process. So until my next video, I really hope that this reached some people, and that you're not alone, and that there's a lot of us out there who are also struggling to figure out what works, what doesn't, and to implement as much as we can so that we can continue living a happy and healthy life and to slow down this disease the best we can. So I think my next video will probably touch on some vitamins that I've found highly beneficial that have helped me in my day-to-day pain levels and symptoms, and also improved my mood incredibly. So until then, I wish everyone happiness and health.